In the digital age, creation never sleeps. But who holds creators accountable? Welcome to Creators Ethics.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Creators Ethics, a podcast section organized to address ethical practices in different creative segments. We realized a problem in society about what people are creating and decided to come together as creatives that stand out and address the various unethical practices that a lot of people are, practicing and the proper ethical practices that has made those creative professionals sustained for a long time. So with me today, I have a very special guest, not the regular creatives that everybody's aware of, but they are professional creative as well. And I have a special guest that's going to be talking about the creativity in architecture, the ethical practices of architecture, architecture as a design creatives, and just so many things that a lot of people don't know about architecture, house building in relative to creativity. So welcome my guest.
Thank you. Thank you for the invite. Thank you for bringing me in.
You're welcome. Please kindly introduce yourself.
All right. I'm Ayomide George. I'm an architect. I've been practicing for close to 10 years now.
Wow.
Started my journey in cultural architecture in 2012 when I was enrolled to do my BSc, and from there just
So how was it
on.
like?
The studying or the practice?
Yeah, let's start with the studies.
Ah,
How was it
well,
like?
Studying architecture is
It's not
you
easy.
can't anywhere in the world. It's not just in Nigeria. That's why some people call it architecture.
Architecture, yeah.
Architecture. It's not easy.
I know it's because I remember then when we were in school, I
Yeah.
studied computer engineering, computer
Oh.
science. I did computer engineering in my handy and I did computer science in
Okay.
HND. So I remember the when we were still doing engineering, we used to have this technical drawing. It was
Yeah.
that was when I started having the idea of the complexity of architects' work, because what they were giving us was just like very preliminary.
Yeah.
And a lot of us had issues. It was guys that went to technical college that was helping us there then. Those my guys there. The one that helped us, I was taking around
Yeah.
then they went to technical college. We
Okay.
it's only secondary school we went, so we don't have ideas. So I started saying like architect is even aside the practice in terms of civil engineering, like the creative aspect of it
Yeah.
is massive. So which school did you do?
Okay, so I did my BSc and MSc in Caleb University.
Caleb University. Where is
Yeah.
Caleb University located?
It's in Lagos here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
A few private schools in Lagos.
shout out to your school then. Shout out to Caleb University.
Shout out to Caleb.
My own school, I went to all over Central Polytechnic.
Okay.
It's in Ogun State, Songota. Shout out to all over Central Polytechnic as well.
Yeah.
It's actually one of the reasons why we are hosting this podcast, because we realize that education is is like what open the eyes of humans to the values they have in between.
Yeah.
So now I'm very sure the effect of going to study architecture, the effect is going to it would have had on you. You
Yes.
can be able to understand, and so we don't believe school is a scam.
No,
So
definitely
I
not.
can bet nobody's coming on this podcast that believes the mantle of school as scam.
Nah.
So we know the caliber of people that believe that kind of, and we can't have those kind of caliber like in this podcast to discuss. So tell me, what's it like studying architecture in school?
Studying architecture, it wasn't easy. For, like any course, even computer
Any course,
engineering
yeah,
that I
yeah,
did,
it's not
from the
always easy.
beginning, they will just take you in slowly, gradually, make you feel like everything is cool and nice. All of a sudden, bam,
Wow, it
you are
starts
sleeping
in
in the studio. You don't have time for yourself
Okay, you
again.
architects, you have studio too.
Yeah, we have studio. We sleep in the studio. You have to sleep in the studio, otherwise you can't meet up. There's no in between. You have to sleep in the studio because it's almost 24/7, and it doesn't stop in school. Even outside school, it continues like that. So from that point, it was already a preparation of how our lives are going to be outside school.
Yeah.
So in some federal schools, I have friends that went to federal and state schools. They will tell you things like they have their gas cooker in the studio. They are there 24. Their bed, their mattress. So it's clockwork.
Yeah, so like architecture relates in relation to creativity. I know it's a creative process because all those lines, like, so we have line art.
Yeah.
Yeah, in creative, like you find out there's line art. So like, what tell me like the correlation, like
Okay, so for me, actually, originally I wanted to study arts. I wanted to do arts. Yeah,
Just watch
but
the mic.
yeah, but my dad, being someone that works in advertising, he works with a lot of artists, and he said the kind of life that they live, a lot of them they are very freestyling. They freestyle their lives, and it was like, I don't want this for you.
You want
So he
seriousness.
suggested architecture, like you can get some technical structural background to your artistic ability. So that's where the middle line is. So architecture is like a middle line between creativity and functionality as it relates to our building and our urban environments.
I like that. Watch the mic, please. So,
Okay.
like,
All right.
let me just
Okay.
I like that. That one. Like, can you say it again, please?
I say architecture is the middle line between creativity and functionality
In
our
relation
urban,
to
in relation to our building and our urban
that building
environment.
that you talk about brings me to the discussion. We've seen a lot of issues with building collapsing, and we've seen a lot of so many things that we realize that there's so many things that was wrong from the foundation.
Yeah.
So from the architectural perspective, what do you think could have been lacking, or what could you think like
All
was
right.
missing?
The issue of building collapse is multifaceted. It happens for a lot of reasons. Starting with the fact that, first of all, we're entering a world where developers are dominating the housing markets, right? And developers generally, they care just about profits. That's their aim. That's their goal, profits. And in a place like Nigeria, which is why you have building regulations, building codes. We have the Nigerian building code, although it has not been updated since 2006. But you have the Nigerian building code, you have your building regulations for each state. So you are supposed to, all these regulations and codes are supposed to be strictly followed. Now, in a place like Nigeria, where these things are not strictly followed, the developers are in control of almost everything. So they do things how they want. When you want to design a building, when you want to bring up a structure, the first thing you are supposed to start with your survey plan. Then when you have your survey plan, you go to your architect. Now, the job of the architect is to coordinate the entire process, bring in the engineers, bring in every other person that will work on the design, then take it to the execution stage. Now, what you have happening, especially in places like Lagos, where the regulation is not very good, you have developers that boycott professionals, not just architects. They boycott professionals generally. So they go with either unregulated draftsmen or inexperienced student architects that don't have enough experience to handle the responsibilities.
projects. Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, I see.
In
I
a
get-
bid to cut costs.
so that they can maximize their own profit.
Exactly. Now, in the process of doing that, they don't know that they are
setting trap for people in the future.
for themselves and other people in
And
the future.
yes, themselves. Yeah. No lie. I
Exactly.
remember a certain story of one copper that was posted to Borno and later on got redeployed back to Lagos. Thanking God, and only to end up, God rest her soul, and only to end up in one of these building collapse that happened I think in Koyi or VI. That it's been like how many years now, and then you realize that danger is everywhere because the reason why they don't want her to stay in Borno is simply because they feel like Borno is not
Insecurity.
safe. So now they brought her back to Lagos.
And imagine.
Well, but that happened. That's not why we are here. So it's just like a passerby. So architecture, I like the fact that you've been able to correlate architecture in relationship to creativity and in relationship to how we build our houses. I like the fact that you're able to analyze that one.
Yeah.
What are the ethical practices that architects abide with? That that this is unethical. Oh, we don't do this. Oh, we don't do that. So because we know that, as you said, the developers are engaging a lot of baby or students
Architects.
to engage on projects that they are not even experienced enough to handle. So what are the hard ticks? I feel like even those sort of student architects that are saying, even if they're watching this program or this podcast, they will know, or even if they don't know yet, they will know that this thing is serious. Like you have 10 years experience. So say
All right. So no, it's not up to 10 years. Almost 10 years.
Almost 10 years.
Yeah. Because I finished my BSc in 2017. So we're going to 2026.
I think it's logical for us to count it from where you were learning it.
Okay. In that case, it's more than 10 years.
So definitely now, because there are still first-hand experiences that you've gathered
true. Yeah,
during
definitely.
the process where you are learning. So it's still part of the experience. So nobody can take that away. But
Yeah,
it might be
definitely.
learning experience.
Yeah.
So but that does not mean it's like when you are graduated is when it becomes a practical experience.
Yeah, that's
So
also true.
experience is experience. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a couple of organizational bodies that guide the ethics and practice of architecture in Nigeria.
Okay.
We have the Nigerian Institute of Architects. We have the Architects Regulation Council of Nigeria.
Okay.
And we have the Association of Consulting Architects of Nigeria.
Okay.
So each of them have their roles and function in our society. So for architecture, for the ARCON, that's the Architectural Registration Council of Nigeria, they are in charge of regulating the practice of architecture in Nigeria to make sure that any practicing architect is registered and they go through the due process to become registered as architects. For NIA, that's one of their functions. Just to give a brief, for NIA, that's the Nigerian Institute of Architects. They are responsible. They are more like to bring architects together to foster community
Okay.
between architects.
Architect, okay.
And the AACA, and that's Architectural Council, Association of Consulting Architects of Nigeria. They're in charge of. They are more interested in private practicing architects.
Okay.
Yes, bring them together, create a foster community and all of that. So each of these practices, each of these bodies, they have written rules and guidelines that guide the practice. And some of the most common things they let us understand is we have to follow the due process of architecture when you are trying to bring a project to life. It's first of all, shortcuts are frowned upon. And by shortcuts is the example
shortcut
given
is basically
already.
endangering
Exactly.
people's lives, like setting trap for people in the future.
Exactly. And the building process is a bit of a long process, but a lot of people here in Nigeria don't really understand this thing. Let me give you a bit of a rundown. If you approach me now and you say you have a land somewhere, and you want me to develop maybe a 5-bedroom mansion, with a pool and whatnot, the first thing I'll do is ask for your survey plan. Because without your survey plan, I cannot get certain information that I'll need to build or design your building in accordance to your site.
So it's unethical not to have survey sites.
Exactly. And a lot of people are building without a survey plan. Through my Twitter profile, which is where you reached out to me, a lot of people reach out to me almost every day with their project, with their design and what they want to do. And I can tell you for a fact that 70% of Nigerians, especially those outside Lagos, they have buildings, they have properties, but they don't have survey plans. And that's very appalling. It's wrong for so many reasons. Right? A lot of people purchase their land, they collect receipts, and they are fine. And the next thing they want to start building. Meanwhile, it doesn't work that way. You have to you have to follow the due process. Now, on your survey plan, you see a lot of information: your GPS coordinates, your cardinal north, and your site boundaries, existing road, and a couple of other things. All these factors.
These are very, very like vital factors.
Yeah, that they come together to help decide. They'll help with the design decision.
Design decision of the space of the land.
Exactly. And if you can't have that information, you can't design the building properly. How it's supposed to build. Right? Let me give you an example. Now, the first thing is when I see your survey plan, I look at it. I look at your sites. Is it straight?
The balance, topography.
The topography. Thank you very much. The word almost skipped my mind.
It happens.
Yeah. So the topography of your site, is it even? If it's even, we have solved a lot of problems. If it's not, we are going back to rethink the problems again behind your brief. Now, let's even assume your topography is even, right? What about your neighboring buildings? What about the road, access road? What's the proximity from your site to the major express or the access road? What is your cardinal north? Now, the cardinal north is what will determine a lot of things. Now, here is one thing that I've come to realize that a lot of Nigerians don't realize plays a very huge factor in building design, and it's our climate. Now, Nigeria is we're located along the equator. When we do geography in secondary school, the equator, the middle of the globe. Now, Nigeria is strategically located along the equator, and what that means is we have a tropical climate, right? And that means year round is mostly going to be hot. Which everybody can attest to that.
Yes,
even sometimes when it's raining. It rained this morning.
Yes.
The sun is already out. The sun is already out and it's already hot. Right? So because of that, you have to consider the movement of the sun around your building. This is what we call sun path analysis.
Sun path analysis. I think it contributes to how there's ventilation at there's
exactly.
Heat, because there was I've lived in an apartment when I went for a visit, when I traveled.
Yeah.
The house was so well ventilated, as in the ventilation is like we hardly even see reasons to on fan.
Exactly.
So now I couldn't just anywhere we go. You are in the room, it's cool. You are in the sitting room, it's cool. You are as in even the kitchen, they balance it. And so I was like, Like, who they really did? When the person now laughed, they said that like almost nobody that comes to his house that does not give credence, and he only has one tree. So maybe like he has the house surrounded with tree. So he now told me like it was actually his architect that told him like, oh, the nature of your land and structure and everything, like this is kind of thing that will be balanced. So you won't have a need for AC or too much fan, or just have it in case, but it will be built in such a way that it will be well ventilated. So I get that point that you're trying to see.
Yeah. And
So
that's how we're supposed to build
that is how we are supposed to build
in this part of the world.
So we can just, let's say, that is the unethicalness of a lot of builders
Exactly.
constructed that is leading to the collapse of building, leading to the loss of lives, and it's just one of those things. That's why we are having this podcast, because when we started out, the things we saw was because everybody now said, create, and everybody's creating, but it now started getting to an extent like people are not creating anyhow. So there's a lot of anyhowness. People are creating anyhow. The same way you are saying, people are building anyhow. People are singing anyhow. People are acting anyhow. So, and I feel like this is a problem.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of I look for problems to solve. So especially when I'm in the areas that I feel like, oh, this is my space, this is my industry, this is my family, this is my environment, this is my community. What are the problems that we have that we can solve? And the one I noticed was that of the creatives. And I feel like we have to start doing something to address the ethical practices in creativity. So it's not going to be as if all of us, we are just anyhow. Now, I'm bounded by integrity to be ethical in whatever it is I'm doing, because I can't be the host of a creators ethic podcast.
Yeah.
And aside from that, and I start because I'm a musician, I'm not going to be singing anyhow. So it's easier so even me myself, I'm bounded by that law, and it makes me happy that anybody that is coming here, you have to attain the level of professionalism. So you can, because look at the details you've already given, that it shows your onions, your books in and out about this. So, and it's more safer. I think it's even way more better when people like you are speaking up. When people are you're speaking. I like the way you called out the developers. Believe me, developers have done a lot of damage for Lagos. Lagos, the topography of Lagos is just basically a land on water.
Yes.
There are so many. If you're even going to be unethical, it's not supposed to be in Lagos.
In a place like this,
In a place like this. So even when you're ethical, you've not even found the balance already, and you are following the due process with all these things that you mentioned now. Now imagine when you are not following the due process. So
Exactly.
I'm good that we are having this discussion, and I'm very sure that some of our viewers, when they will be hearing, they are seeing something to learn. So as you are following us, remember to subscribe, and follow us, and just let us know that you are feeling what we are doing, and we have. So it's going to be like an encouragement for us to keep on doing it. So we'll go on a short break, and after that, the conversation continues on creator ethics.
In the digital age, creation never sleeps. But who holds creators accountable? Welcome to Creators Ethics.
Welcome back from a short break. I still have with me Odd Space Consults, city manager, director, CEO.
Let's use lead architects.
Odd Space Consult lead architect, and he has shared a lot of insights on the journey of an architect in relation to creativity, the ethical practices, the effect of the unethicalness in architecture in relationship to how we are having loss of life through building collapses. He has he talked a lot, and he's still going to be telling us a lot. So welcome back.
Thank you.
Back to what we're discussing.
Yeah.
You've said a lot, and now I'm saying like, what problems are you seeing now? What problem, like you, from your perspective and from your experience, from your learning experience, your practical experiences, what problem are you seeing in the architectural industry that you feel like it needs to be corrected, it needs to be fixed, it needs to be worked on to avoid more problems, or problems that are still to avoid it in the future?
All right. It's a lot, to be honest. It's not.
Is it plenty?
It's a lot, to be honest with you. From within the architectural society or community itself to the broader perspective of how people see architects. Right. Let me start with that broader perspective. I'll tell you for free that a lot of people don't actually understand the value that an architect brings to your building projects. When around the beginning stages of my career, I and a lot of architects can corroborate this. They'll tell you that you'll see people that will approach you and tell you, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that. When you give them the cost, because you've done all the analysis in your own head, this is what it's going to do, this is what it's going to take, the amount of time, the amount of effort, and they'll tell you, why? It's not just to draw lines. That statement, every architect has it.
Oh my God.
Especially in Nigeria.
Every artist.
In fact.
Not just
every artist too.
Even if you are drawing, paint artist, you are paint artist, people will say that thing.
Exactly. And people don't understand the amount of work
Easy.
that goes into this
They
brain work.
They
They don't understand it, they don't appreciate it, especially in this part of the world. Yeah. So it's a lot of, you have to explain. You go explain, you go shalaye, you go, and it's just
It's done.
before I onboard any clients, the minimum conversation is 30 to 45 minutes. I have to do a lot of explaining, and because I realize that people don't really understand these things.
And it's a big problem.
It's a big problem. It's a very, very big problem. But what I appreciate is the fact that once I can do that educating to each person, they take it in and they understand it
from there. Yes.
So from that problem, I've solved one person.
Yes.
One person at a time.
That's good.
So
yes, I like that.
I don't mind taking the time to explain to people, to make them understand the work.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
So it's a lot, and that's the major issue. In 2019, I was invited to Top Radio to talk about the role of an architect in our society. I went with a senior architect, and we're talking. You know how they do in radio station now. They will call, you talk. People will call, they ask questions, and the kind of questions people were asking, I was so amazed. People were asking questions like, "What does an architect do?"
Imagine.
In 2019.
Hey, that's the deficit we are highlighting that because they are used to the issue of, okay, I buy land. You can't bring bricklayer. Okay, yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, just do foundation, do corner piece, do all those things.
And bricklayers, they're very fast. They're very fast.
When it comes to issue of money,
once they get to the side like this, say, am I worried? Yes, about it to block. You do this one, do that. Thank you. It's like you've experienced one or two of them.
Of course, now. People have built out.
Their mouth is very sweet. They will explain everything to you. You too, you will look at it and say, oh, wow, and they will continue like that. Meanwhile, it's not supposed to be so. We are supposed to be the interface between the clients and the artisans, not just the bricklayers.
So I think it is a solution that is just to make more awareness about the role of architecture in building, in house design, in house building, in estate management, town planning,
even in our urban planning too.
Urban planning, yes. Like so, I guess that's the awareness that. So, what are the associations? You mentioned some associations the other time.
Yes.
What are they doing in regards of that?
Thank you very much for that question. In regards to this, thank you. In regards to this, the Nigerian Institute of Architects has the major responsibility. And the NIA is split into different committees. Most importantly, at least in this context, you have the Public Relations Committee. And the Public Relations Committee is in charge of public relations for architects, letting other architects and the public understand what we're doing, the value we bring, and what's not. And because of that, I joined the Public Relations Committee of NIA in 2019.
Okay.
Just because I saw these problems already all the way back. Because immediately I graduated, people are already starting to, you talk to your friends or your family members, say, oh, you're an architect. Okay, I want to do this, I want to do that. And you see this mindset that everybody has, like, oh, just come and quickly do this. It take you 1 week now, quickly, cyber media. Like, 1 week, bow, look at what you want to do. It's not so. This now became frequent. I'm not looking at it that come on, this thing.
Is it like it's a registered norm?
I have to find the problem. I have to find the solution to this problem. So I joined the Public Relations Committee, and thankfully, my boss then, she was very receptive to the idea. She also saw these problems and she was interested in solving these problems.
That's good.
So it was easy for me to just plug in and try to solve all the.
So I guess you should need to do more campaigns then.
Exactly. Actually, to be honest with you, I would say that the Lagos State chapter of NIA, they have this yearly campaign that they do. Okay. Who is your architect? So they bring out a lot of architects in the Lagos State chapter. You print shirts, print banners, invite drummers, trumpeters, and you do like a match. Okay. But it's usually on the mainland. Surulere, Yaba,
something like that needs to be extended outside.
Yeah,
it shouldn't be limited to the
definitely.
If it's something your organization can work on, we don't mind partnering with you in contributing to that because that's good. And again, like part of the things, our community, my community, our Afro Creators Hub is a creative ecosystem. And the reason why we created it was because we want to be like a support stand for each other as creatives. So I might just share the link with you when you're done with this interview,
Okay,
so we
that's
can.
fine.
So that means we have an architect. You never can tell. Maybe it's not maybe when we have money to buy land, and so we can
Yeah,
always consult you
of
that
course.
we want to build a studio here, and so we can join in the campaign in making the awareness and reaching out, let
Okay.
people know that architecture is as important as the builder, so that you will not have stories
have
that
issues,
breaks
yeah.
that touch the heart in the nearest future.
Exactly.
Because when you hear all this building collapse, the people that get affected most are always innocent people.
Innocent people. That's the
Child,
problem.
young children.
Innocent people.
There's a house there in Pako side, where one of my aunts in Lagos Island there, we used to live not far from there. The day I saw the news, I was like, they said the building collapsed. I was like, fuck. What's this? Because I know that building, I know that.
And you
it
know some
broke
people that
me.
live
So I
there.
quickly reach out to my cousin, like,
Child.
Alpha, like, they've already even moved. They were like, hope you don't have anybody in that. But even if they don't have anybody, I didn't know somebody. The people that are there, I didn't know human being.
That's the people.
So, and that our building that we were living then, there was a problem we noticed, because you can see all these developer and these agents, they, in the top of our floor like this, they went to go and rent house to some church. And those churches like this, you see the kind of crazy speakers they are using.
Of course.
You can't sleep
Of
very well
course.
in the night. You see, like, the house will be vibrating. It was one of my aunt's friends that she works in the council that came around. And she was like, why, so this thing. Why do you allow this thing? You can report this thing to Lagos State government now. Look at the way your wall is vibrating. What if this place go and collapse? And the woman was, so it was when that woman was saying that thing, those are the reasons my aunt feel like, oh, she has to leave that apartment. It was no long, maybe like 3 years after they left that building.
And
We
the
had
collapse
that.
happened.
It's not the building, like the building on the same street. One building
Wow.
on the same street with that, the thing collapsed.
Very
There's a
unfortunate.
mosque opposite that building. I knew a lot of people that used to go and buy food down there. And it really, really weak me. Say, God. Say, what if we were to be time where we were there, that we won't know? And problems. I've gotten to realize that the amount of problem you are able to solve will determine the level of relevance and money you will have.
Definitely.
So
Definitely.
anything has to do with Dangote like this, I carry them on top of my head, because the man saw a problem that Nigeria
Yeah.
has.
He's a problem solver.
And he helped us
At
to
a
solve
large
it.
scale.
And he's still solving it.
Yeah.
So all those other people are saying, I don't always care about them, say, Dangote, me, I carry him for it because he's a problem solver. That's the number one
Yes,
entrepreneur
yes.
in Nigeria.
Yes, definitely.
You
In
bring
Africa.
all this kind of money to, regardless, you know the kind of country we have. And I like people living with reality. This is the reality of, it is because all those developers in Lagos Island, they don't want to understand the reality of Lagos Island is a land on water. So we need to do our due diligence. We need to do our due diligence when building. But they want to do boycott, shortcuts, and
Because they want to maximize their profits.
maximize profit.
This issue you mentioned of noise, church in a residential building is, in fact, last weekend I was at my friend's place. He stays in Orchid. I spent the entire weekend there. On his street, there's a mosque there with like 2 to 3 megaphones, very loud megaphones. They pray 5 times every day. And I'm telling you that every single time they pray, you will hear it. You will hear it and you will feel it. You will not just hear it, you will feel it too. He has been complaining. It seems like, because he has been there for almost 2 years now, but it seems like they just started. So he has been complaining, has been looking at what's the issue, what's the way forward. And it's not supposed to be, because when you look at every state has zoning laws. Every state is zoned into recreational, commercial, agricultural, institutional sectors. And each of these zones should have buildings that fit that use case. So churches, mosques, and other religious institutions should not be in residential zones for any reason. It's against zoning laws. Right? So when you look at all these things and they're not being properly enforced, I'm talking about Lekki. This is supposedly the luxury area of Lagos. And these
What
things,
also if Lekki is there, also
when you now go down to the mainland, go deep into places like that, you'll see, you'll see more problems like that.
all these things are problems.
Lot
And
of
I like the fact
problems.
that we are highlighting it and we are discussing it, and I like the fact that it's going to be adding credibility to what we are discussing at the creator settings, because this one you just said now, I've not heard it before. Like I'm not gonna lie, I've not heard it before, and so I like the fact that I've learned that today, and and I like the fact that I'm enjoying the conversation. You're enjoying the conversation.
Yeah,
I'm
of
very
course.
sure everybody that is watching is definitely enjoying the conversation. So please, if you're enjoying this conversation as fast as we are here, please don't sleep on that subscribe button.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. That's the only way you can encourage the Afro creators to keep on doing this and bringing more people to shed light on the unethicalness in creativity. So now we are discussing the unethicalness in creativity in relations to architecture and house design. So normal, if you know that if you design, if you can draw a house, that's a design, that's an art. So now imagine an architect doing it. The way I would draw a house will be different from the way he's going to draw it. So and we are both being artistic. So we are both being creative. So because of that creativity, we have to be ethical about it. And shout out to the lead architect, Odd Space Consult. He has really shed a lot of light on what even me, I don't know about architecture, but I always know architecture is related to creativity and, creative heart, and it's something that people shouldn't joke with when they are building. So shout out to Odd Space Creative Consult, right?
Yes, Odd Space Consult.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
So you shared some. There's a document you shared with me the other time.
Okay. Some of our projects.
Some of your projects.
Yeah.
So I think the one I think are you doing it or you?
Yeah,
Chess in the Slum.
So that one is so let's start with the one that you mentioned now. The Chess in Slums is a partnership with Chess in Slums.
Tunde Onokoya, right?
Tunde Onokoya and Chess in Slums. Fun fact: we went to the same secondary school.
You and Tunde?
Yeah.
Tunde is a great guy. Man.
Yeah, he has always been like that all the way back from. So I'm not surprised that he's doing so well now.
It's about time.
So he posted something about a corporate chess league on Twitter where they want to organize a program, a corporate chess champions league.
Okay.
Where they want to organize a program for companies, corporate organizations come together,
so they can
play chess
against themselves.
just like Champions League, but it's chess.
With corporates.
So the money they generate from it, they'll use it to build libraries in underserved communities, right? In all the geopolitical zones.
Massive project.
Oh, man. It is. In all the geopolitical zones in Nigeria.
I was actually impressed with that design you sent me when I was
thank you.
This is like in terms of space management and how you're able to allocate. Because I was one of my team when you sent it and I was sharing like this is nice stuff.
Yeah, thank you.
So the land appropriation. And so it's actually one of the things I wanted to talk about. Space management in architecture.
Yeah.
So I think it's because of lack of architects in some buildings. That's why we don't have a lot of people. You see some people just building anyhow. So I want to ask a question. On an average of let's say a plot, a standard plot, how many, let's say, what is the proper building? Like what's the proper building that's supposed to be on it?
So it depends on the brief. If it's a residential development, for instance, a plot of land you can get when you take away your setbacks, because you have to take away setbacks as expected by the Lagos State's building regulation agency. You need to take away setbacks 6 meters from the road, 3 meters from each side. So when you take away that, you now have what is left for your building perimeter. So when you put all these considerations together, if it's a private residence with a full plot, you can get to be honest, it depends on the brief, but you can get as much as 5 bedrooms if you are going up vertical. That's like a duplex.
Yes, duplex. Okay.
Right? If it's a block of flats, for instance, you can get 3 units of 2 bedroom on each floor.
2 bedroom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Properly optimized, well, considered circulation
3
movement and all
units
those
of
things.
2 bedroom. So 2 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 2 bedroom.
Exactly. Semi-detached.
Semi-detached. Okay.
Yeah. So you can have that as high as you can go.
That's a lot of apartment though.
As high as you
So
can
that
go.
means like if I have 2 bedroom here, I can go like 2 bedroom go up.
You
And that's
can-
2 bedroom here.
can
So
take
because I've always known that it's the architects that can manage the space
Of course,
of
definitely.
land very well. So
We don't need to have buildings with small spaces, to be honest with you. We know that land is scarce in Lagos. Land is one of the scarcest commodities, like gold in Lagos, which is also one of the reasons
everywhere,
why,
not Lagos alone.
well, it's worse in Lagos
Yeah, of course,
because
it's a metropolitan area. So
and it's very small.
and it's more.
Lagos is
so,
very small. And the population is very high. Population density in Lagos is about
Anywhere there's a metropolis, that's
Yeah.
the way it is.
and it's not. That's why you have people that are living in Ogun State, working in Lagos.
I live in Ogun State. I was
Oh,
working in
exactly.
Lagos.
A perfect example.
So I'm a typical example.
Exactly. So that's why it's happening because there's no land again. But people have to be here because this is where the opportunities are.
Yes, much. The opportunity is more.
more is
Opportunity
here.
is everywhere, though. I'm
It's
not gonna
everywhere.
lie. But
I won't
it's
lie
more,
to you.
yeah.
Is the difference is a lot. Though.
Yes.
Let me tell you. Someone you might know this guy. Sheun Abayomi. He does this tech with Abayomi.
I don't know.
So he released the stats on his TikTok yesterday where he talked about the revenue generated per month on average per business in Lagos. In every state, Lagos is the highest with 8.3 million per month. The next is not up to 1 million naira. That's the gap.
Wahala,
That's
that
the
one.
gap in
Even if you
economic
look at
value.
their generate their revenue, like, so I have to accept, like, Lagos is the number one in
Exactly.
Nigeria, like the home of the old opportunities. Like, it's the opportunity I have here. That's why. Is it in Ogun State? It's not in Ogun State. And we don't have access to stuff like this in Ogun State, so I have to travel all the way from Ogun State down
To come
here
here.
to become and make you. So that's why we won't keep doing what we are doing for the sake of relevance and for the sake of actual value. And we are happy that we have people like you that you see seriousness in what you are doing, and you give credence to what we are trying to do as well. You've spoken a lot, and I've learned a lot from this discussion. And that's the reason why we are doing what we are doing, to bring more people to speak out. A lot of people have this conception about podcasting, and so I don't know, it's what you are discussing that matters.
Yeah.
So I'm very sure, like, anybody in the civil engineering world will pay good cognizance to what we are discussing here. Anybody that is interested in building a good house will pay good
Definitely.
attention to what we are doing here, and we just keep on making the awareness out. I like the fact that you said for every client you meet, you always try to make them know, even if they don't know anything about the issue of architecture, you always take your time to onboard them, because you're solving a solution at the time. So all those people you've taught, they're going outside to let other people know that, don't just build anyhow. You need an architect. You need an architect. And we promise, as from Afro Creators Hub, we'll always be supportive in any campaigns that you have that needs, for like that one that you said, who's your architect?
Yeah.
It's something that I'll be very, very interested to participate in. So we'll reach
That's
out,
good to hear.
bring more people, design ourselves up, and let people know. Just this campaign, like, this is the problem in the society that we notice, and this is the solution. So please, when you are building, I know God is going to provide money for me soon. I'm going to acquire a plot, not a plot of land, a very large space that we're going to set up, Afro Creators Hub. We operate on a digital space. We are digital house media, but now we're going to set ourselves up by the grace of God and by the goodness of the gesture of what we're trying to do here. And we'll have our own plot and be able to structure our own building, be able to have more creatives coming around to practice their creativity, learn about their scams. Soon by even we are going to be entertained whatever we do. So shout out again. Shout out again. Thank you for gracing. So yeah. So tell us, like, you've talked about the chess in the chess and song project. So what other projects?
So we're working on a lot of projects actually. In fact, even outside Nigeria, I'm in contact with a developer from Senegal that wants to do
Sorry about the break. Yeah, you were talking about the projects that you said something about Senegal.
So working with a developer in Dakar, is it in Dakar? I'm not sure it's in Dakar, but it's in Senegal. I think it's in Dakar, because we also talked about, we have the similar issues actually. The issue of housing shortage. The way we have it here in Lagos, they also have it there in Dakar. So it seems to be a general problem with
Dakar is like it sits in Senegal.
Yeah. There seems to be a general problem with every metropolitan state in every location. And talking about real estate, I would say that the way real estate is practiced in Nigeria is just, in fact, there's a lot to talk about. In fact, that one requires a whole discussion because there are so many things that are being done wrong in and it's because there's not enough regulation in real estate.
So that means the government needs to do more.
We need much more involvement from the government, much more involvement from the government, much more than they are doing, to be honest. Because I understand that it's a lot of work in a state like Lagos, where you have population of almost 20 million. It's a lot of work, but I'm very much trying to urge the government to stand up to that responsibility and meet up to the demands that they need to, because regulation is very important here. People will design one thing, take it for approval, and go and build something else entirely. That's a very big problem.
So they need to work on the compliance a lot.
Compliance, regulation, enforcement. Then aside from enforcement, I think they should introduce a system that rewards people that are doing it the right way, instead of just punishing people that are not doing it. So you can do both.
Of course.
Right. To encourage those that are doing it well, and to punish those that are not doing it well.
Yeah, that's a very good message.
Right. Then the same real estate, you see people advertising what they are calling luxury. That's also a different topic entirely. When you look at these buildings, you see that they're not necessarily luxury. They're those white big buildings with designs that were borrowed from outside. these designs they don't fit our climate. They don't fit our context. They don't represent our culture. Right? Because of the amount of heat that we are supposed to have large windows, large shaded windows, large balconies to help ventilation. You mentioned about a house that you visited that they don't need air conditioning. This is how a lot of us, we are supposed to live around here. But people, you see all these small windows, they put it there and they say, oh, $500 million, you will love it. No, and that's not there.
You will love it.
House is not about you love it. It's about functionality. It has to be functional. You will now see the compound, no grass, nothing. You will put artificial carpet grass, and you will tell somebody to come and buy it for 500 million naira. How does that? What's the balance?
Imagine, I hope one day I'm going to bring a tourist designer to be on this podcast. Be honest, because greenery, flowers, trees plays a huge part in house composition, in house composition, and because a lot of people just want to, I want to use my land. I want to use my land. I want to maximize it. Like, if you build 10 houses, there are 10 rooms. You can't sleep in 2 rooms together. It's only one. It's not better that you calculate the ones that you are going to need. Okay, this is my one, this is my wife, this is my children, this is the space we need.
And it looks very well.
And this is very well. It's not about like something wide that you can't be able to manage. So space management is very, very important. And I like the fact that we're having these discussions, and it's high opening. So I'm very sure viewers, they are gonna be enjoying this when it's out, and we have a nice time too. So because of our batteries, we had a long discussions and we've had nice times, and we've learned quite a lot of things about the creativity attached to architecture, and the importance of being ethical with our architectural design when we are building. And we hope that the viewers can learn one or two things, and because of this reason, because of this podcast, when they want to build, they must get an architect. So today is to be structured, map out of what's best for their land. And shout out to everybody supporting us on this initiative. Shout out to SEP, Creative Economic Practice. Shout out to Social Foundations. Shout out to a whole lot of people that are supporting us. We are happy that we have people that are encouraging us and they are giving us credence, and they are giving us thumbs up for what we are doing, and we have reasons to continue doing it. So we are going on the wrap. We are going to be on the wrap for today's episode on Creators Ethics, and we talked a lot about creativity in relation to architecture and the ethical practices. So we've seen the importance of architecture today. I hope this podcast has added that information to the information that you know about architecture. So do a shout out to our people.
All right. Shout out to everyone. Thank you for taking your time out to watch this video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Follow. Because I like the initiative. We need more people that are doing things like this. So support, like, subscribe, share. Because there's a lot of information here. Yeah. Don't keep the information to yourself.
So that we don't have sentences of I would have put my person to hire an architect so that their building will not go and collapse. So please, this is more or less like an awareness, a captain. Like the creativity of an architect is very, very important in house design, and it cannot be overemphasized. It is as important as the cement and the block you are going to use. So on this note, we call it a wrap on the Creators Ethics podcast. I remember I always said Kolawole Luyomade, aka Jambula, and tell on it.
I still remain an Evident Judge, lead architect for All Space Consults.
I'm signing out. Peace.
Yeah,
that was nice.
It was nice, man. Yeah, really enjoying what you. We take it.